Now, Ghanaians are beginning to speak up about and against the existence of party militias here at JoyNews. We've launched a campaign to disband these groupies. We'll hear from one man who's always been at the front of this particular fight against the illegal groupings, which for title you give them party militia, former vigilantes, and all of the groups that have done extremely bad against the Ghanaian politic and put a knife, a sharp one, through the fabric that made us be proud of our security. After the break, we'll get into the details of that conversation with my guest. Now, there's growing intolerance here in this country for private militia groups affiliated to the leading political parties, that's the NPP and the NDC. In fact, civil society groups and some individuals are beginning to speak up loudly, very loudly, about the very conduct of these groups and piling more pressure for them to be disbanded. What will this be the last push to end the criminal activities of these hoodlums who specialize in perverting the security of the state? My guest today is a three-time chief of staff. He's also been very critical to Ghana's security setup. General Nunu Mensah, you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
I hope you are doing well, sir.
As you can see, I'm always doing well.
In 2006 and also 2017, you raised this point. You said that we should be extremely careful about the conduct of groups who take state power into their own hands, conduct themselves because of their affinity and affiliation with political parties with impunity, and they get shielded by these political parties. Today, we are still having the same conversation. Exactly what is the strength of these groups that you identified long ago that makes them seem impenetrable, that makes them seem so formidable that mere words of even security officers cannot do anything about them?
Well, these groupings are backed by the political leadership of the country. They have been backed. When I say this, I mean the two main political groups we have, the NDC and the NPP. You know, and I don't know why they can't get rid of these groupings. I know the harm that they can do if we don't deal with them decisively. They could lead us, when I say us, lead the country into some kind of chaos if we didn't take care.
That's how serious it is?
Yes. You know, I'm saying this because if you go back a few weeks ago, 3 weeks tomorrow, when we had this chaos at, I was so, it is Wugan,
yeah,
West constituency, a simple by-election, which would have been a very simple business of going to vote and go if you live within the constituency. It became something nasty. And it's a prelude to what could happen if we didn't deal with this problem, allow it to fester until next year when we have a major election to go to. That's why people like me, I've been concerned for a very long time, because I know that discipline is the bedrock of any society, especially the military, which I believe I've done all my life. So anything discipline, you know, I really go against it. And because these groupings are backed by political leadership, the NDC and NPP in particular, it's been very difficult to deal with them. And I think also because we Ghanaians have been apathetic, or we've been unconcerned with these groupings. So they are there, the invisible forces, they this and that, the Bamba boys. And, you know, I didn't know how dangerous they could be. I thought they were just little grouping of indisciplined people, but now it's becoming very obvious that we have to deal with this issue once and for all if you want Ghana to survive the next couple of years. Otherwise, I'm afraid, seeing what they can do, and the police even cannot deal with them. I don't want the military to come inside here, because the military are not an institution that should be dealt with. You know, when they come on the scene, they're coming with brute force. But the police should be able to deal with them. But they are becoming also, you know, impotent in the face of political backing for these groups. So I think that what they had a few weeks ago could be a blessing in disguise. And we Ghanaians must come up and deal with this canker once and for all.
Is this a recent phenomenon? Because I've read articles, predominant academic writings, that suggest that political party vigilantism has its historical antecedents from youth activism in political parties during the British colonial era, when the CPP, for example, had this youth wing, also known as the Veranda Boys. They set the pace for party youth activism in the country. And some believe that, I mean, the Nkrumah's Veranda Boys, for example, were very instrumental in the party winning. They were active on the ground. They were strong people. So the real antecedents of this group are political party youth activists, right?
It's been with us for a very long time. You're right in saying that. I mean, as far back as if I can remember well, the election before we became independent in 1956, there was a lot of violence, you know, between the CPP and then the NLM in those days. So we have antecedents from that past, you know, period. But I thought that at that time, Ghana hadn't been that educated. You know, and I thought that as time went on, we will graduate from being politically, you know, violent to decent democracy that we are trying to nurture. You know, so I thought that this thing should belong to the past. But since the birth of the Fourth Republic, the 92 Constitution, out of person, I thought, you know, we had uneducated people. I mean, when I say Veranda Boys, my understanding was that Nkrumah CPP, you know, was mobilized among ordinary people, you know, unemployed, and then the half-educated people and so on. So that's where that term, to my mind, came from. But as I said, I thought that as we sit here today, and has been independent for the past 62 years. And you know, Nkrumah he himself was educated at the university, maybe Case Layford, but the rest of them were, you know, half-educated people. So one would excuse them if they went wayward. But today, you know, we have a lot of educated people in the government, young people, like, you know, in their early 40s or late 30s in the government, educated. So when I see this violence perpetrated in Ghana today, it not only shames me as a Ghanaian, but I'm a very proud Ghanaian. I remember when we were in Europe, early 60s, and we were very proud because coming from Ghana, we had a touch of African liberation. So if Ghana today is still going into a by-election with such violence, then something ought to be done about it. It's true it's been with us for some time, but you should be seeing the back of it by now, not, you know, getting stronger and louder.
It's getting stronger and louder.
Oh, today, yes. I mean, just what is a few days ago when the NDC were having some meeting in Kumasi, and one of the own, I don't know what they've got, these perpetrators of this violence, you know, I mean, it's unheard of that such violence we use in Ghana. You know, attacking in broad daylight, fearlessly. If you...
And shooting him in the chest.
Yes.
Right before the person. When the person turns around to run away,
yes,
it still decides to shoot again and kill the person.
Yes. Eventually. I mean, with that such bravado, I mean, this job don't even fear anything. And I think that, you know, if you don't take it, it will require the military with brute force to deal with them. And I don't want the military to come in here, because when the military come in here, the last resort. So, but if the police cannot deal with them, as the IGP, I had some report, the IGP was pleading.
Yes, for the political parties to deal with them.
Yeah, to deal with them. You know, I mean, that's unheard of. And I think that because the public authority which run the country control these groups. That's why IGP is appealing to them. It's amazing that the NDC and MPP both have been in government and they cannot deal with these groupings. I've seen such violence myself with my naked eye, and I couldn't believe it. That in 1998, I was actually a member of the MPP then. I left government, I've led the military so I could do politics. And in Sunyani, during the NDC Congress, I mean, some members actually used physical violence to threaten their own. You know, I mean, I couldn't imagine that within the MPP, for example, somebody could pull a gun and tell them to kill somebody. That shocked me.
Members of the same party.
Yes. So if they could do this to themselves, no one could imagine what they could do to others. So and for what reason? I go beyond the violence and say, what is going to happen in Ghana? Is it because we want political power? That's why you threaten to kill somebody? You know, so Now you've got this thing in front of us. I think that we shouldn't allow the opportunity to slip out. I think we should, when I say we, all Ghanaians, anybody who calls a Ghanaian and love this country, should get up and say, look, no more will they allow this thing to fester, to happen. Because if you don't take care, if you go around the world, look at what's going on around the world. If you don't deal with it, we had a small incident. I say small, 1979. To be 40 years very soon.
Yeah.
A small in terms of what violence it generated. I couldn't believe it. So if we don't take care and we come up with any such thing, without proper discipline, you can imagine what will happen.
Can it be worse than the 79 events?
It will certainly be worse, because 79, you are the young officers and other ranks rising against their senior officers. But some of us still had discipline. We could still be listened to by the soldiers, so they listened to us. But what's happened today, like what I heard, you had some people coming in mass and threatening or hurting people. The police were impotent. That's very dangerous. And when you have a mass misbehavior on a larger scale, and there's lack of military presence, lack of control, you can imagine what could happen. If you had in Rwanda in 19 what was it 80 the Rwandan crisis, where the Hutus genocide. That was a frightening thing, terrible thing. But don't tell me that it can happen in Ghana. Look, human beings can be more visual than animals. I mean, even in Ghana, what I saw in June 4th, if it's repeated, people like you, people think it was a joke. I mean, I was in Burma camp, and my children were little children, very little. And the terrorism that took place, it's unimaginable. So God forbid that this should happen again to Ghana. So we should do everything we can to nip this in the bud.
Are you not blowing out of proportion? I mean, this does not really result in a government change. This is mostly about an election. People go out there, their intent is really to go and make sure that they intimidate people, they attack some in isolated cases. It's never been a national kind of thing, has it been?
But, if we don't deal with it, I mean, it hasn't been, but it has been sporadic. I mean, I've witnessed one in Winneba, this is about not this last election, one before last election. I was present when young people came and with brute violence, almost, caused bloodshed in front of my own eyes. Okay. But as a military man, I mean, I don't think that if you want to go for election, to go and have political power, to do good for your own, kith and kin, you should perpetrate such violence on their own people. I mean, I'm trying to understand why such violence. I'm going to go beyond the incidents and see why would anybody. I've lived in Britain for 10 years, in fact 12 years altogether, if I had my 2 years of training. I voted. And you go into a voting, polling station, like here. And you go in there, 2 women are sitting down there. I show my card. It didn't take more than 10 seconds. My name was there. I had a piece of paper. I went to the corner, and I walked out. There was no party agent. There was no policeman there. Why can't we have this civilization in Ghana? 62 years of independence. Why can't we have it? Because when you get political power, it means so much to you. That you can make money, you can have good living, which is not what you should go into politics to do. You go and serve. But if you're going to go to politics because you are going to control our wealth and use it anyhow, for that reason you should kill somebody else, then I will not go for that. So it's all depends on how we see political power. That's what beats me. That's what really I don't understand. Young people today go into politics just to make a good living. Not because of the poor people that we. I mean, every day I walk, I drive, I walk, and see that shook me. Young people, that are almost helpless. That to me should be the concern of politicians, not about how much money they can make, how big cars they can drive. This not should be. But that's the case, unfortunately, that we are facing today in Ghana.
So you're saying that it's also because of the motive for doing politics now, that the concentration is not to bring people out of poverty. It's not to make the lives better for all people,
yes,
but it's rather been more like people trying to amass wealth.
Well, this is how I see it. Because if you are going to serve, and politics should be an opportunity for you to go and serve your people, to lift them from whatever they are, and make them a better people. That's what I saw when I was growing up in the early 40s and the late 40s. When Nkrumah and others came on the scene, we thought that our life was going to get better. And initially, this is what you saw. And the type of people you saw, I mean, there were one or two bad elements, but on the whole, you are a man like Nkrumah that I saw with my own eyes. You can't tell me he has one bedroom house in Ghana today. He has nothing. He had nothing. And that's what inspired some of us to go to the military and serve selflessly. I didn't go to the military to go and make money. I want to serve. And I think that if you go into politics, you should go and lift your people up and make them better people. But if you go to Accra today, you go to Tudu. If I should drive with you to Tudu right now and see young people sleeping in the corridors of these big buildings, at the mercy of mosquitoes, and then you come into power and you say you want to make money, that we must kill, maim, shed blood to make money. This is the essence of it today, which is unfortunate. But it shouldn't be the case.
You have been a member of the NPP before.
I have been a member of the NPP.
You never advised the party to disband political vigilante groups?
I got fed up with politics after we came to the Fourth Republic, and I said, let me go into politics, because I didn't understand why, for the people went to Parliament, because you back the NPP or the NDC, if something was going on, which you feel that or you felt was wrong, because you were a member of that party, you supported it. I could never understand it, because as in the military, I was always, I was in opposition. I will speak my mind, whether from being a captain in the early 60s, all the way through my career. I'll be objective and speak my mind. So when I saw Parliament, they would go to Parliament and back. Clearly, the policy was wrong, but they were backing it. I said, what the hell is going on? Can't they see what they're doing is wrong? So as I let them go into politics and try to change things, I was being a little bit simplistic. Go and change politics in Ghana. But even trying to get into Parliament, what I saw there, the corruption I saw, I couldn't understand it. I said, look, if I'm going to go into politics and serve the people, let my fishermen colleagues, fishermen cousins, are coming from fishing background. Okay. Why should I bribe them? I couldn't answer why I should give you money. I just could. You should give me money. Well, I'm coming to make you a better person. So that idea, I couldn't get around it. So when I lost the election, narrowly, and I saw election was fought, I said, no more will I do politics. Look, there was one...
My question really is about, why didn't you advise the NPP then to disband political party vigilante groups?
That's the reason why I walked out. As I said to you before...
But did you try?
As I said to you, again, from the early 1950s, in fact, Nkrumah became leader of government business in 51 and 56, last election before independence. And there was so much violence. You were not born then. You would, maybe I don't know whether you were born, but you wouldn't know. But I lived there, and I thought as if violence was part of a political system. But it shouldn't be. They were decent people. They were decent people. But now, the motivation to go in for, you see, I'm happy that there are younger people. I was against the idea of President Mama, for example, moving away the older people President Mills left behind and replace them with younger people. I thought that they needed to get, I thought it was wrong. But I said, okay, it doesn't matter. The French President Macron was not even 40. As Prime Minister, they all in the late 30s, the President of Austria. They're all in their 30s. So why don't we have the younger people take over the reins of government? Because the future belongs to them. But I find that also that what I found out is that the young people are more concerned with they are becoming. I don't have need for a car now. My cars are all 40 years, 50. I don't need. I was building schools, but the younger person really want to spend his money living well for women, whatever. I don't have interest in that. So somehow I believe that, like you saw in Malaysia, Prime Minister of Malaysia, Dr. Mahathir, is 93, with 94. He re-elected with so much wisdom. But it must be a combination of both the youth and the old, so that at least the young people in power today, which again, but this government have its fair share of young people and older people, but some they cannot click and get things done. So I think the question was, why did you advise the NDC to NPP to get rid of this? But I think that everything has its time. Now it is time. This little is
But also somewhat, I mean, it's national security coordinator or advisor.
Advisor in those days.
Very
Yes.
good. Yeah, that what they call it.
Under President Mills. Yeah.
He also held some human security position.
That was later by President Mahama.
My question is, you have been in a position where you could have just advised governments that, listen, we need to get rid of these people.
Yes.
It's a threat to our station.
Yes.
Why
see,
didn't you
it
do
was
so?
easier for me to work with President Mills because we shared many things in common. He understood me very well, and I understood him very well. But it's a funny game, politics. You know, people, if you are too outspoken, which I am, people don't see you as one of their own. They want to get rid of you. And you would find again that as I became national security, I would say coordinator in charge of human security, I didn't function that much because people have their own interests. And if you don't belong to that interest group, everything will be done to elbow you out. So I'm sorry that I couldn't make change, but changes don't come that easily. If there's a force, this is the time for change. But there's so much revulsion, so much anger. You can feel it in Ghana for you to deal with this canker. And this, I believe that you should mobilize Ghanaians, the press, the media, everybody, to come and say, no more will you have these political vigilantes, political, crazy people to terrorize our lives. It's the time now. Everything has its time. This is the time. That I believe that with the commission sitting, these are honorable people. I think they'll come out with, I believe, a good report, calling on government to do many things. We should support the call from the commission if it comes. Not allow government to choose and pick which recommendation they should back, which they should throw away. There have been many commissions since after the Nkrumah's overthrow. Many of them. Yeah. Many of them. And they have not worked because the people have not pressed the government to implement them. Plenty of them. NDC, they're going to have their election, elect their flag bearer. Yes. They had the election. They lost the election 2 years ago. They had a commission to go into why they lost. Nobody has seen the report. Those few saw the report, sat on it. Now, look, let's be honest with ourselves. Even in the military, when you go into a big campaign, a big operation, even if you win, you still want to find out, you want to do better. What did you do wrong in the last campaign? So that next time you go, you do better. But when you lose such a major campaign, and you have an inquiry into why we lost, and you sit on it, that's not the way to go. Yeah. Because it didn't favor you. It didn't favor, you sit on it. Next time round, when you go, look, you're going to fight a battle. Politics is like war without weapons. You're going to fight next general election across the country. Now, you few of you who are at the top of the party say, we have seen it, we are quite happy, we sit on it. A man who's fighting in Winneba at the left flank, fighting, he hasn't seen the report. How does he correct the mistakes of the past and do better this time? These are things that we Ghanaians, we are kind of people that fear to speak the truth. We fear to speak the truth. And that's why people like me have suffered, and I don't fear to speak the truth. I've been sacked many times because and then Nkrumah, I was much before President Nkrumah as a captain, all of them, at Champon, Le Mans sacked us, because I will speak and defend the truth. But many of us are in this mess because we fear to speak the truth. Even the NPP or NDC, and something's going wrong, can't you stand up and say this is wrong? You know, because it's my party, you keep quiet. But the country is bigger than your party. Let's make sure that Ghana survives, not your party. CPP is no more. It is there, but it's almost like as good as dead. But other parties have come. If they don't take it, they will go the way CPP went. So let's together, as Ghanaians, today say no more vigilantism. This is a dangerous thing that it should not be part of our democracy, and deal with it once and for all.
Now, it's interesting how you make it look like the actions are the people's own. But what can ordinary people do? What can me, who doesn't control the affairs of the state? I don't have the qualifications, I don't have the materials, I don't have the resources to be able to recruit, train, and also give them what's required for them to operate as these party militia. Shouldn't your concerns be directed straight to the people who have been voted for, the people who have the repository rights of the people, to act on their behalf, to do what is right?
The people you voted for are supposed to act on our behalf.
But we know they don't necessarily.
The power belongs to the people. The power. When we go and vote and elect a president, Kufuor as a president, we collectively put our thumbs, give him the power to exercise on our behalf. If we're not doing the right thing, we should look. we shouldn't sit back. I've learned something. Let's just not sit back and decide that, oh, I don't have the power. You have the power, because that power is your thumb.
So what you're saying is that
yes.
and people can vote out the president if he fails to deal with the problem.
Yeah, but we shouldn't wait. You shouldn't wait for 2 years' time. We shouldn't wait, because those 2 years, if you don't take care, that election can be in major chaos that Ghana may not be the Ghana as you know it. So what I'm saying today is that when the commission comes with a report, this is the problem we have in the past. This commission comes with plenty of them. They're never implemented. I'll give you an example of the NDC one, which is just lying down, and they're going to vote. Nobody has the common sense that let's go and look at the report, what is wrong, and do something about it. We are going to. Then what happened? 3 days ago, they were having a meeting in Kumasi. Somebody came, opened fire on them. There's so much anger among the young people, because you use the young people to do their dirty job. When they come to power, they ignore them. That's why they are shooting everywhere. Young people today who are what's vigilantism? You go and do your dirty job. You promise them work. When you come to power, you don't do anything for them. So it's okay. Now payback time. They start that you can't control it, because you arm them, you set them up. So I'm saying that we, the victims of this perpetration of violence, should not sit down this time and say it doesn't concern, it concerns us. So when the report comes, this time I will join you. I'll come and call you. Go on demonstration for the first time last time in my life. I will wear a placard and defend and get the government, get the president to implement the recommendations of the commission, and make sure that at least one thing we ban once in our political history, this vigilantism, because it's very dangerous. It's been with us for a long time. But I thought that having been better educated now than 1960, when President Nkrumah was there, we should do better. But you are doing much worse than during the early days of independence.
I see.
You're doing much worse, because I mean the violence that you see, you don't see them. I've seen quite a few of them. I've seen quite a few of them. As the last election before the 2016 election.
The 2012 election.
Maybe 2012.
Okay.
I was in Winneba. I voted. I went to Winneba, and I was at one village not far from one of the smaller villages around Winneba, in the Futu constituency. Young men came with steel helmets and physically attacked some people, sharing blood. I took one man in my car to the hospital with blood oozing out of his head.
Wow.
Yes, I was there. A cousin of mine, Major K, dead now, he had to help this man and fell down with him, because there was violence. And this violence, if we don't stop it, one day it will be universal, and then Ghana will be burning everywhere. And how do you put out those fires?
One, I'll come back to this point. Two, we sure will be pushing it further in the next conversation we'll be having pretty soon. But for now, let's take a break. When we're back from this break, folks, we'll continue our conversation with General Nuno Mensah on the party militia scandal or saga we have on our hands in this country. How best do we deal with it? What are the specific people highly responsible to act on these matters? After the break. The antecedents of party militia, how they operate, much of the things that they do on the ground, and who is really behind them is what the crux of our conversation is today on our front. And the man who's actually qualified and competent now to engage us on this matter is three-time Chief of Defense Staff. He is one man known in Ghanaian history, especially in the security circles, to be extraordinary. Brigadier General Nuno Mensah is our guest today. We'll be having the first part conversation trying to put the whole concept in its proper perspective. We've been trying to see how they operate, who puts them where they are, why we have not been able to deal with them properly. In the next half of this conversation, what we're going to do is to understand clearly whether we can deal with them. What should be done when we want to specifically deal with them? Which specific institutions or group of people are responsible for what? And how can we ensure that by the time we go for election 2020, we cannot deal with any grouping that will take the force of arms of the state or perhaps from elsewhere and seek, among other things, to engage in illegalities, hoodlum, thugs, people of varied backgrounds maybe, whose ultimate aim is to pervert our security in the state. That's the next set of conversations we should be having with Major. Major, you're welcome to our front.
Thank you very much.
Well, we continue the conversation in this path. So now, specifically, there's been complaints from the IGP, I'm sure you've heard him,
yes,
calling on the political parties to help him by disbanding their groups. is that a legitimate call, especially coming from the man in charge of security at that level?
You know what? I mean, I hope someone like me or you or anybody can go to the Supreme Court for interpretation of the Constitution. Whether political parties, and for that matter, anybody can set up a paramilitary force like vigilante group in the political party. I believe it's clearly illegal, not constitutional. You know, I want you, somebody, just, you know, go in the open, go to
On the
court.
7th of September 2018, you have been quoted to have said that you are considering dragging the NPP and NDC to court over the existence and the formation of these groups.
Yes. I'm sure I've said that before, but I'm so concerned about it that is clearly wrong. And we are just witnessing it as a people. You know, I don't have men and women of courage in this country here.
Why can't the police deal with this? Why is the IGP asking us to ask the political parties
because the IGP was appointed by the president.
Yes.
If the NPP are supporting the vigilantes, how can you override the president's actions? You know, I mean, I see the problem IGP had. To be honest with you, if I were in IGP shoes, I would have resigned long ago. To be honest with you.
Really?
Yeah, because I've resigned quite a few times. If you give me a job, you will tie my hand behind me. I can't do the job.
His hands are tied?
Yeah, because you appoint people who are NPP supporters or NDC supporters, whether NDC in power then or NPP now. And the IGP is being blamed for insecurity
But it is his responsibility.
Yeah, but if
the fact that you are appointed by government doesn't mean you cannot be independent.
Yeah, but if
you should have the presence of mind to exert your independence.
I agree. But if not all of us are equal or the same, the courage that you are talking about is not courage that you learn the IGP and the police or the military. You are born with it. I'm telling you. It's not something you learn. So if you are not born with that courage in your system, in your makeup, it's very difficult to want everybody to speak and behave the way, you know, you want to behave. I've learned from this. So if I were in shoe, to be honest with you, and it won't happen under my watch, because I mean I want to read this. Now I won't. You know, I resigned in 1982 from the PNDC. Then President Wallins was the chairman of the PNDC.
Yeah.
Maybe you haven't seen a copy of my letter of resignation.
I've seen that. You list a litany.
Yeah, and I just say I quit. I quit and I left. I want to have a big farm near Legon. Because as chief of defense staff, I had all the power there. I'm not the government, but I left it and went to a cassava farm. But I couldn't, you can't give me a job and a time I say you cannot do it and then blame me.
But let's be clear. So who is tying because the president says that the IGP can do whatever they want to do. The police can arrest these people. He will not intervene. His party will not intervene. He is sure that he wants to see them go through justice. So who at all is tying their hands?
The IGP could do what you are saying. Here you send men who are armed, maybe better armed than the police. And the police go to confront them. What do you think will happen? You have bloodshed. You know, why should anybody outside the police or the military arm themselves at a by-election, appear there and molest people called bloodshed? And it's blame is a political one. It's not the IGP. So I'm saying that if the president or the political party will not do it, use the excuse of the mayhem that will occur 3 weeks tomorrow. And I know the men and women you have on the committee are men and women of courage, of character.
Yeah.
They will come with a report, and not like any other report that has gone before us. Let's be Ghanaians. Tell the president by a big demonstration this time round you will implement the report. And let's slaughter this monster called the vigilante once and for all. If you have done that if the NDC, they are sitting down, they're going to have another election. You have a report which is being sat upon. You sit there, look at the report. You say, you what? You know, I'm saying that let's have courage and demand that the right things are done. Because listen, we are playing with fire.
I get you saying something specific here. When the committee is done with this work,
yes,
we should demonstrate to compel the executive president to implement the report.
The recommendation of that.
But the recommendations will come to him. He will issue a white paper telling us which ones he wants to implement.
No, he shouldn't. No, there's no white paper. The people are not novices.
Yeah.
Yes, I make sure he's not a novice. And Professor
Mensah.
Yes, these are not novices. They will tell him common sense, and he should do them. They give him common sense. What should be? So this issue you are having is very complex. when you had this by-election, the violence I saw later on the news, I think on your network, I didn't believe that such violence could happen in Ghana 62 years after independence. I couldn't believe it.
Really?
I couldn't believe it. That, I as a military man couldn't do that. I only kill if there's need to kill. But you don't go and maim somebody. If I'm into action, I'm there to kill, to shoot or kill. But if it was a peaceful election, you go with the sole purpose of going to cause political mayhem, then the political authority must act, not the IGP. And it's within their power. They created the monster. So they deal with the monster they have created. I've seen them in operation. IGP, NPP, what do you call it? 1998 Party Congress in Sweden, and I was there. A member of the party pulled a gun at us. I was shocked. That at the party you pull a gun? That's how politics have come to in Ghana. That I'm going to save my people and I'll pull a. Why should I pull a gun? I'll pull a gun only because I'm going to get some booty there and we are prevented from getting a booty. If I'm going to save, I left. President Mahama didn't have enough work for me to do as national security coordinator, security coordinator. I was building schools all over the place. I spent my time, a lot of money to build schools. For which reason happens, I go for this, I have a free education. If O'Reilly wasn't moved by me, there are 1,500 students there. They were being closed down. I said, no way. So I want us to come to politics to build, not to come and share the booty of our national wealth. That's not the way Ghana should be run.
I get your point. Now, the various institutions that are also being talked about, is it strange to you that what we are discussing today about a national security team, a SWAT team,
yes,
joining national security, civilians and police people together, forming a group that many doubt are really security?
A lot of things have gone wrong with Ghana's security, a lot of things. And I have a lot of hope on this commission, and I know it will come up. It wasn't like this. I served in 1963. I was from Britain to the military intelligence. Nkrumah was there. It was very clear. We had the military, we had the police. Before Mr. Ali was Mr. I'll come to that. But we had clear lines of demarcation. The special branch in those days. Very clear. No confusion. You don't have all these paramilitary forces.
The special branch became BNI.
Became BNI.
Yes.
And their job was mainly to acquire intelligence.
Yeah.
They're not armed. They're not armed police.
Okay. They
were civilian like the FBI in America, collecting intelligence, which then is used by the uniformed police to do the job that the policemen should do. And it should be the same. You have a SWAT team, as if there's war, armed to the teeth. Who are these people? So when the policeman and when you have such a situation where a policeman is in charge of a police station, provide security, he is in charge. If other people come with masks and so on, what are you telling me? So those that create havoc. I mean, it need not be like this at all. It need not be. Let the police people, let the uniform police maintain law and order at such events. Even the military don't come in there. But all the others work in support of them. But if you are going to bring SWAT team, who are going to threaten the very police, who are supposed to maintain law and order, then where are you going from here? So we, the politicians, I'm not one of them. We are causing the mess. So stop causing the mess. Appoint the IGP, Chief of Defense, and leave him to do his job. These are professional men. They are better trained than you. So leave them. Don't go interfere with their work and then blame them for the mess that you caused.
The NDC's national chairman is tonight saying that he is ready and willing to lead the party to clear its ranks of all of these vigilante groups. Is that a step in the right direction?
If I were within this, I would tell them, you throw the first stone. Tell them, we NDC don't have. But what we have, today, we are going to disband them. Today. And we call on Ghanaians to tell the NPP to do likewise. That's a very simple solution.
That's what the national chairman is
saying. And he should do it tomorrow. You shouldn't just say it. You should do it tomorrow. And call the NPP chairman to do likewise. Tell Mr. Blay to do the same thing. Now, this problem is a little problem, but we are making it look, there are many serious problems that we need to solve.
I get your point. We'll come to that. But my issue here is that you are saying that he should just go beyond the words.
Yes.
Show action, that you've disbanded them.
Actions speak louder than
words.
Do that. Have you heard me talking about something which I do it and I talk what I've done? I don't even talk about them.
But do they mean it when they say it? Because
if you mean it, then go and do it.
In the run-up to the 2016 election,
yes,
they went to Kumasi Accord, they went to the Accra Accord, they went to pledge peace. And inherent in this claim is no support for these vigilante groups. But fast forward to 2018, 2019 that we are in today, we know that the people are still operating. So what value can we put on the words of a national chairman that says, we will disband them?
They don't mean it. They operate because they benefit them, the political parties.
Yeah.
But they are like the animals that will go bigger and will consume themselves. You know, all these little groups, all the mess that we are seeing within the MPP and the NDC, is because they use them to do the dirty job for them.
Okay.
Now pay back. And they're not paying them back. They're not getting jobs. You ask them to go and do dirty jobs, you are in power now. So now you can't even touch them. And if some of them are coming with arms and killing people in broad daylight, where they get the arms from? These are dangerous weapons, small arms. They are washed in Ghana here. So look, I'm saying that thank God we had this little problem. Let's use that to kill this monster once and for all. And all of us should muster courage. Every Ghanaian that loves this country should use the report of the Emission Commission, demand of the government, no white paper business. The report will be done by good, sensible people. Implement them. Let us peace in this country once and for all.
Don't issue a white paper on it.
No, what white paper? To expunge part of it and say this one. No. Why? Look, I've seen many reports in the country here since after Kwame Nkrumah overthrow. None of them came to any fruition. So I'm saying this matter, you don't joke with it. This matter is a cheap, a fronted proverb. What's our summary about? Frank and Sidu. June 4th, June 3rd was very peaceful like today. Then mayhem broke loose. You have many young people today in Ghana who are frustrated, who have no jobs, who have nowhere to sleep. They are burning with anger. I'm telling you, I've been a young man before. And if you don't take care, many of them, some young Ghanaians went to join ISIS a couple of years ago. I don't know whether you can.
Yes, we heard of them.
Yes, we heard of them. Many of them, and they're desperate. I drove past an American embassy this morning. I saw a crowd there that I couldn't understand it. A crowd.
Seeking visas.
Trying to run away from Ghana. Trying to run away from Ghana. Seeking visas. And most of them pay money and they're never giving visas. Then they give a part of the money and say they want to bring troops here to protect Ghana, to help to train us. It's a very complex issue. No Ghanaian is prepared to speak up his mind. Most of us haven't got that courage. But the crowd there, let me say something. I haven't done law, but it's not natural justice that you get money from him. I want the visa, you don't give him, you keep my money. It doesn't make sense to anybody. Yes, we are watching. You're very quiet. Then they give me $20 million to come and position troops here, and we are happy with this. Our own money. So let's have courage to speak our mind, to defend. This country is a lovely country. The only country we have. If it goes, we are all gone. You can't go to Britain. There's no way. You can't swim across the Mediterranean to go to Britain. There's also Brexit waiting for you. So Trump is waiting for you in America. So where are you going?
There's this latest development that's interesting to know too. One thing that came out of this particular probe is that people have started complaining about the kind of architecture we have at the national security.
Yes.
So we have a coordinator, we have an advisor.
Yes.
We have a minister. We have a minister and we have a minister of state.
Yes.
All in charge of the same unit.
Yes.
Is that appropriate?
No, there are too many of them. I mean, again, go back to Nkrumah's time. I had one Mr. Eric Otu, was charge of national security, Eric Otu. That was the only one person. I did a good job. How many were Nkrumah's ministers? Go and count them. They're a handful. Have educated people. Run Ghana better. They run Ghana better, I'm telling you. And I was there, so I'm telling you, they run Ghana better than today. So numbers don't mean anything. And again, from my experience in this disaster that we are talking about, many of our ministers or many of our top officials don't understand what they're supposed to be doing. To be honest with you, when a minister doesn't have the authority or the power to deploy any soldiers or any policemen anyway, you are professional heads. I had a problem with my Minister of Defense when I was Chief of Defense Staff. I knew I wouldn't last. That didn't last. I'm telling you, I mean, Mr. Ali Poku, if he's not around, he may rest in peace. The day I knew I wouldn't last, because I would never give up my principles of, I've been trained in some of the time I'm wearing today is the Indian National Defense College, one of the finest institutions in the world. 50 years anniversary, I was there 10 years ago. And Sandhurst and all this, then you can't come and tell me how to run the military. Minister thought he was in charge. I said, "You're not in charge. I'm in charge here."
That's interesting to note.
No. They're professionals. Don't mess up with them.
Okay.
Do your job as politicians. Get policies to them and let them implement them.
Okay.
But don't go and tell the minister, or the minister go and tell the chief of defense staff or the IGP how to run the job. Don't interfere with it. We don't bring political people to when to employ as policemen, soldiers. Then when they can't do the job, you blame him. Then you blame him. You bring party boys to go and be employed who are not fit to policemen or soldiers. You blame the IGP or the police or the CDS when something goes.
But the IGP also have never complained about these people and called them party boys. They seem to accept them. They seem not to have the mettle to oppose any form of action that seem to impose something on them.
You see, these things don't happen in a civilized society. I live in Britain. I went to school in Britain, in Canada, as I said, in India. Long periods. It didn't happen there. What should happen in Black Africa? Is it because we are black? No, but I met officers in the army who were black, but they were as intelligent and as good as you can find, as you can find anywhere in the world. The current chief of defense staff, I know him very well. First-class officer. Don't mess up with him. The IGP, I don't know that much. But they are good professional people. So I'm saying that, you see, we are making life very difficult for them because we want power and keep power forever. That's the whole issue. You come and do your job. Do it well. People are going to choose to vote you back to power. Fair enough. They said no. Go in peace. Leave them alone. To choose a new pep. I mean, the NDC today, I keep on coming to NDC. This power.
I'll come down to that point because that's a political party. Yes, I have some time, don't worry. And that's a political party that's actually going for elections pretty soon. It's Saturday, as we are told. But I want us to wrap up quickly on this vigilante system.
Yes.
Do you think that the president today can lead a comprehensive system that will get rid of them once and for all?
I know President Agubade very well. I mean, I know him very well. I don't want to say it, but let's put pressure on him. If you know our eyes are ready, he will sit up and do it. Because you see, there's a joke with Ghana. I'm serious.
Okay.
Hell can break loose without any warning. But you have many things, many dry grass that can catch fire and be in conflagration. I keep on saying this. If you go to Tulu right now, if you go to Cantonment, you see people sleep on the pavement. I've seen it with my eyes. And that's not good enough. If today, 62 years of independence, next month, and we are in this mess, there's work to be done. That was our time on vigilante. Let's get job done. I mean, the young people, I was in about last Monday, University of North Campus. My house not far from there. I saw young people there, almost without any hope. These young people in Winneba now today, I don't know what they eat in Winneba. In my time there was so much food in Winneba. Today, I don't know what they eat. See, and agriculture is dead in Ghana. It is dead. Our culture is dead. All the food you go and see in our supermarkets are imported. It's sad. The carrots and all the vegetables are imported. A mango today, smaller than my fist, cost 10 cedis. The house I live in could buy 4 houses in cantonment with that money a few years ago, and Achampo. Achampo was executed. So let's be serious and attend to issues which are pertinent to our living as a people. But there are many problems. When we have many Ghanaians today sitting on stones, young women, sitting on stones, on rocks, like monkeys, around the American embassy, waiting for fees to go to America. There's something wrong with our system.
The former President Mahama was not excited about the incident. He first said that the NDC was in the position to match the current government boot for boot. Some have said that was inappropriate commentary on the matter. Do you think so too?
I mean, I wouldn't, this word would never come from my mouth. Not from my mouth. Not even my father's mouth, who was illiterate. Never. Beating forth to forth. Going to the gutter to fight with pigs. I mean, if those days we used to bath with the bathroom in the open. You take a clothes hanging on the door. Then some madman come take your clothes, and then you come out of the bathroom naked, chasing this madman. Who is mad? You are the madman. No, you don't go to the gutter with the NDC, with the MPP. If you thought they are doing something, no. You come up, hold high, hold yourself high, above what they are doing. So that's the most unfortunate comment to make, to say that we can do better in terms of violence than them. No, we didn't elect you to come and do that. We elected you to come and run Ghana better, so that our children, our grandchildren will have a better country than we met it when we came into the world.
Now, there is more to this commentary because he later on then met the diplomatic corps, gave them some details about this event. to show that they need to have a better understanding of the things he said and what was required in that particular space? Was that also inappropriate?
There are things happening in Ghana here which are wrong. And I've been saying it here and here over and over again. Courage is something that you should have. Not brute courage to go through fire, but courage to be able to sit up and say, this is wrong, and I will not do it, to speak your mind. But I'm saying that as a people, we lack this courage, what I call moral courage. This is wrong, and I will not do it. There's no way I will do something. Look, I'll give another example before we come to President Mahama's so-called meeting diplomats. You know, governments in the past, when you're official, when you retire, you can take your not four-wheel drive, ordinary cars, if you have one, and you pay almost nothing for it. I said, no, this is wrong. I'm a Christian. I've seen, today, I saw a young woman carry a baby behind her. The baby was crying in the midst of all the carbon monoxide fumes, selling water. Then you tell me that the car that I've got three cars. They're old, 43 years, 25 years, and 20 years. I could have bought a Land Cruiser, but I used the money to build schools across the country. So I'm saying that you have to have morality, and no, wrong is wrong. My daughter told me, sir, but this car, you say you won't break. I was driving my own car. He was driving my car because I couldn't, like here, I didn't come here because I didn't know how to park my car. So I said, let's drive, let's go to town. And so a woman who was selling water, a young woman with baby behind her, asked me, look, I said, why didn't you buy the car that everybody is buying? I said, I'm not everybody. I'm genuine immense. I was born differently. There's nobody in the whole world like me. Nobody. I'm different. And it's wrong, and I will not do it. Let's have men and women of courage. Something is going wrong. If the NPP are going to go to the gutter into the gutter and play with pigs, you also going to go into the gutter? No, I will not do that. I will not do that. My father was a fisherman. He taught me discipline and common sense, and I will not do it. My father was a fisherman. I went to school by force. I said, I won't go and fish. It's true. Yeah. You know, so let's lift Ghana up. Let's raise Ghana to a level that befits our accolade as being the first black African country to achieve political independence. That's what Ghana should be.
I get you. I was asking the question about whether or not meeting diplomats, briefing them, mattered in any way.
My worry was that in what capacity was ex-President Mahama meeting
former president.
Former president.
Yeah.
How? Let's face facts. Just because Mahama wants to lead the NDC again, and I'm opposed to it.
You're opposed to him leading it?
I've said several times. The world is a stage, and all the men and women. Who said this? We don't read literature. Was it Shakespeare?
Yeah.
Was it Twelfth Night? And all the men and women are mere players. They have the excellent answer. Well, in his time, paid him in the past. I have been a fisherman, a farmer, civil engineer, building schools, doing everything, intelligence. You play a role, and when that role comes to an end, open another chapter. Look, when I go to my village, or when you go to Bole, where President Mahama comes from, Bole in the one. Bole is a Futu. We are the same people. We are Guans. Bole means Bole. Bole. It's okay. The migrated from Mali came across north all the way and ended up in Winnipeg. They couldn't go beyond the sea, so they stayed up there. So you know, there are things that if they're not good, don't do them. And my advice is that look, what have you done? An MP, a vice president, and a president. What do you want to do? And I'm saying that many politicians don't know when it is time to quit. They don't know. But people like President Carter in America, late President Bush, showed us that the Bush did every job in America, every job, name it. When he was beaten by President Clinton, they became good friends. Mm-hmm. He didn't come by storming by, I'm going to power, I want the power again. But you see, let me say it here. I haven't been in government. The NDC, I don't know, I'm not talking to them, but they would be better to listen to me. The people the NPP will find among those who are standing easy to beat with President Mahama. You know what? You know so much about him. He's been in government.
Okay.
They're only waiting when to elect and they'll come after him with onslaught. I have been in government. What you see, what you saw the MPP did, some of them were abhorrent. They know. They're only waiting for them to elect him and they'll come after him. They've started it.
Okay.
One who was here, the Nkrumah, with the deputy minister for what?
The Minister for Information.
He was here he wasn't here before?
Yes, he was.
He was after, was it yesterday? On TV, one of the, I don't know which network. They've started. So I'm talking to you from a lot of experience. I've been here for quite a long time. And I'm not talking from books. I'm talking from things I have seen, I've read.
Okay.
I know they will come. So, but the NDC also need to refresh itself.
Okay.
Need to renew itself. But that's not going to happen. Because they've all ganged up behind President Mahama. Okay. I don't hate him, but I believe that to be in his own interest. Look, let me chip one in here. The Ivorian crisis.
Yeah.
When it was at the height of it, President Militias maybe have a peaceful rest, whatever the Lord has given him. Called me and said, General, what do you do with the Cote d'Ivoire? We have been asked to mount attack by sea and by land to remove Mr. Babu. And I told him, Mr. President, friend, na in Nkasa, na catch the day, upon a chop, please. He's a professor of history that lies beyond the presidency. Don't go and sacrifice yourself, your family, and your country. Please, one power. Go and have peace. I was standing there. You know, he didn't listen to him. What happened? The rest is history. So I'm saying that we've come to play a role. I have been chief of defense at 2 times. You said it. But I served not more than a year and 3 months, instead of 8 years. But when I left my job, I went to do many things, building schools, growing cassava farm, big cassava to sell it, just to feed the people. You go to Bole and do a lot for your people there. That will even, you know, our people are suffering. I was with Monday. The poverty is unbelievable. Unbelievable. And we are doing not much for our people. So I'm saying that after I've served as a fisherman, as a farmer, as a soldier, as a politician, as a civil engineer, I'm not finished yet. There's so much he can do for his people.
I get your point, but the final word I want you to have is on these vigilante groups, and of course I'm wasting out of time, so finally, what will be your everlasting solution to this issue in just 10 seconds?
No, I think that we have this opportunity, I've said this and I'll say it again, to do lasting harm to this menace. Really destroy it. Because it will destroy this country if we don't destroy it. I've seen what they can do. But these are young men that are unemployed.
Okay.
And are used by politicians for their dirty job.
I get you.
And if we don't deal with them, they will give us hell. And we don't want that to happen.
I appreciate your time today, and thank you so much for getting with us today. Well, folks, that's what we end today's edition of UPfront. My name is Raymond Dakwa. My guest has been Jonah Nunumensa.